Yeah, I feel you.
Alright. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, and I do so by Shema Mashak Yahweh Shai. That's all praise, honor, and glory to the Father, in the name of His only begotten Son, who you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans called Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai. I want to start with, give me Matthew 3 and 8 in the NLT. Yeah, the NLT. Matthew 3 and 8 in the NLT. I'm going to hold Tobit 12 and 10. What's up, brother? You believe in the Bible? You believe in the Bible?
All the time.
Want to have a conversation real quick?
All the time. Let me how at least I be rapping about.
I feel you, I feel you. Matthew 3 and 8 in the NLT. Matthew 3 and 8 in the NLT. Matthew 3 and 8. Go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 3, verse 8. Prove by the way you live that you have repented of your sins and turned to God.
And it's crazy because it's saying prove that you have turned from everything that you've been doing. Prove that you have been repented and actually turned away from everything that you grew up with, turned away from everything that influenced you ever since you was a babe. Prove that by your actions. Keep reading.
9. Don't just say to each other, we're saved, for we are descendants of Abraham.
Now that's going into
That means
that's
no.
that's pretty much going into Paul. Pretty much the Pharisees pretty much thinking they're exempt from judgment just by them keeping the law, not realizing that even though you keep the law, or even though you are the seed of Abraham, it doesn't make you exempt from judgment, regardless of the matter. But because a lot of, as we all know, a lot of the Pharisees didn't really deal with Christ, didn't believe on Christ. All of them know. Of course, there were some righteous Pharisees, but anyways, I'm gonna get Tobit 12 and 10 because it's through our actions. For example, if you look at a Hebrew Israelite and they actually keep the commandments, you would know for a fact he's not gonna lie to you. He's not gonna steal from you. Hey, sis, you believe in the Bible? You want to have a conversation real quick?
No, not today. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. As I said, prove by how you would, by your actions. If you actually love God and you actually cleave to God and you actually follow God, you would not have any problem at all talking about the Bible. But as I was saying, it's through our actions you know that this people who say they keep the commandments, who say they keep the law, they're not going to do anything vile to you. But if you break the law, there's things that's going to happen to you that you bring upon yourself. There's the book of Tobit, chapter 12. Tobit. Wait, isn't Tobit in the pocket?
Yeah.
Yeah, get that for me. I'm over here looking at tripping. What's up, brother? You believe in the Bible? You want to have a conversation real quick? I said
You said Tobit what?
Tobit 12 and 10. Because the actions that you show forth, the actions that we show forth on a daily basis, the things that we do when we say, when we proclaim that we believe in God, is completely against the scriptures and completely against the rules and regulations that the Father has set forth upon us and gave to us, not realizing that that's only pushing us away from Him. Go ahead and get there.
This is Tobit chapter 12, verse 10. But they that sin are enemies to their own life. Surely I will keep close nothing from you.
Now, they that sin, they are enemies of their own life. What does that mean? If you're transgressing the law, you're not realizing that you're operating in a suicide mentality. You don't realize that what you're doing is you're bringing death upon yourself, because the wages of sin is death. So if you know of people who say they keep the law, if you actually know the law, then you would know the realm and the rules that they operate within. Because at the end of the day, give me 1 John 5, the love of God. 1 John 5:3. Because at the end of the day, we as a people, it's much more than just keeping the rules, keeping the regulations. It's more than just sticking to the code that he's blessed us with, sticking to the guidelines that He wanted us to be raised in. It's much more than any of that. The actions that we do, the actions that we profess when we say we keep the commandments, it's us showing our God that we actually love Him. Go ahead and read that.
This is 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
So how we love God is by keeping the law. You can't love God by just speaking these things and saying these things all day and all night. All of that is completely unnecessary when your actions are completely against him. Your actions and your words and your deeds, they're completely against the Father. So that's how you know when you actually serve the Father is through your actions, through your works. Now, with that, give me Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. Because as we know, that's the love of God. And if you want to cleave to God, then God tells you what you're supposed to be doing. Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Now, the Lord requires us to keep the commandments. Keep reading.
To keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good.
For that good, as a father would give his son and daughters rules and regulations. You believe in the Bible? She might.
Yeah, that's son.
Yeah. But as I was, bro, she looked at the sign and she was like, I knew you ain't dealing with it.
Right.
You already know how we rocking. But when it comes to what this specific verse right here is what tells us this is what God actually wants you to do. God does not want you to go to some damn church, give all your money. God does not want you to, whenever it comes to an actual serious situation, not to deal with your feelings and lead people astray. God requires you to operate in the realm of the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what he requires of us. And if we don't operate in that instance, give me Daniel's 9 and 11. If we don't operate in that instance, then Moses told us that there's going to be curses that's going to be plaguing our community because we don't want to adhere. I'm talking about the Bible, brother. You believe in the Bible?
I know you from somewhere.
I've been out here for a
No,
while.
I know you since you was a little boy from somewhere. Where you from?
I'm from Texas.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, but I've been
Black Bible, white Bible, what?
not no white Bible, but the whole stigmatized notion that the Bible is the white man's book is because, one, they utilize the Bible to actually indoctrinate us on the plantation, not realizing that they only handpicked certain scriptures and gave them to us. They didn't teach us the whole Bible because they don't realize that the Bible actually condemns them for what they're doing. Give me, go ahead and drop that. Give me Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9. Because that's why a lot of our people don't necessarily deal with the Bible, because we see the hypocrisy going on in the Christian church. We see everything from a people who claim to believe in God, who claim to actually be righteous, but they're judging everybody. They're telling everybody, well, you look like a thug, you look like this, so well, I'm better than you because I'm doing this. Not realizing that the religion that they're actually following is the very same thing that they gave us on them plantations. But this Bible is actually kind of pro-black than pro-white. Give me that.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
This is what Christ says. If a man's going to lead a specific people into captivity, hold that and give me Acts 7 and 7. If a man is going to lead a specific people into captivity, that man and his descendants and his people, they're going to have to go into captivity. Because at the end of the day, what kind of God would he be if he let millions and millions and millions of men, women, and children and babies die just for the people just for us now to just sweep it under a rug and forget about everything that happened? Like,
Look at what's going on now, though.
exactly,
In the other countries.
that's what I'm talking about.
So you can't forget about it. It gon'
exactly. You can't forget about that thing.
But this how I feel about the Bible. When I was young, I stayed in church. I growed up in church. My parents, my mama was a deacon and all this and so on and so on. All right. Now, as I growed up and started hanging in the street, that's when I picked up things in the street. I didn't get it from home. But once you talk and accept the Lord in your heart, don't matter how far you get lost, He gonna bring you back. He gonna bring you back if you only believe it. Because he knows what's in your heart.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 11. Let me read something to you, because if you, let's say you know the Lord.
Right.
Would you say that you know the Lord?
Yeah.
The Bible explains to us what a person and how a person is who actually knows the Lord.
Right.
Get that. No, matter of fact, I got this. There's a book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. Hold that, I'm gonna go right to you. 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments. He that said, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. Whenever the Lord gave his people a set of rules and regulations and a code to live by, he gave them those things so that we could positively represent him amongst these other nations. But we don't necessarily represent him properly because we go off of the certain concepts, like just believing and just give me Revelation 12 and 14. Just believing and just, loving God. We go off of these things that point us in a direction that is leading to the pit. The Lord wants us to actually do things to show him that we love him.
I understand all that. That's what I mean by when you say you know him.
Revelations.
When I say you mean you know him, you got to be doing
Let me read these two
things.
scriptures real quick. I got you.
This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, and to her place where she is nourished for a time. In time,
Okay, here we go. Revelation chapter 14 and verse 12. It was 14 and 12 instead of 12 and 14. 14 and 12. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Now give me 2 Thessalonians 2 and 11. Read that. So it's
13.
All right, go ahead.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion.
So because our people, our elders, don't want to actually accept God for who he is and accept God for what he wants of us, we have to then go and create something that, like for example, a lot of our people, all throughout the Bible, we're known for dealing with idolatry, dealing with other gods, and dealing with other deities. We always find ourselves cleaving to other gods and other deities because we don't like the rules and regulations that our Father gave to us and set and laid down for us. So he caused us to believe certain things. Go ahead, keep reading.
And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion.
He's going to put a strong delusion on this people. Keep reading.
That they should believe a lie.
That they should believe a lie. Keep reading.
That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness.
Now, when it comes to the truth, Psalm 119 and 142, the law is the truth. That is our rules, our guidelines, that is our heritage. That is everything.
And what that scripture is?
Psalms 119 and 142.
Psalm 119 and 142.
This one, 2 Thessalonians.
Yeah, I have a Bible. I read up on it.
Show you something. This book of Psalms. Alright, 119 and 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. The term truth has been, for example, in the hood, in the ghetto, the term real has been thrown around a lot. Everybody wants to use the term real. Everybody wants to throw it around. It's not realizing that you can tell a man is real by his code of conduct, how he operates, how he treats his people, how he loves his people, regardless if he's emotional or not. You can tell a man if he actually follows God, if he actually does what God says by keeping the commandments. That's exactly why in the Christian church that's why the Lord put on the delusion on them, because they're not willing to accept the God. Give me Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 30, because they're not willing to accept God for who he actually is. The Lord, as you know, the Lord flooded the whole world and killed everybody and left 8 people. Give me 8 and 30, 8 and 20. Okay, go ahead.
This is Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. To the law and to the testimony.
To the law and to the testimony of the prophets. You ready?
If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
The Lord put a delusion on the people. Now, granted, you know, I love them. They're my people. Is it too much for them to actually keep the commandments? No. But the Lord placed a delusion on a specific people because what they believe in caters more to their lifestyle, rather than them actually change what they got going on in their daily life and operate according to the laws. So because of that, it's according.
I need that
Oh, you gotta
verse.
go. Come on,
Yeah,
brother.
I need that so I can read it at home. I gotta go.
That's Isaiah 8 and 20.
Yeah, y'all have me stuck all night. What is it again?
Isaiah 8 and 20.
You can read it. That's why
To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.